Sally Chiwuzie here, owner and founder of the brand Unshakable. You know the motto, unshakable is a state of mind. Take your state of mind with you everywhere you go. Be unshakable, be in truth with yourself, love yourself. Welcome to another episode of Chronicles of Unshakable Truth. If you're a subscriber, you would know that I've been a little bit obsessed with friendship groups at the moment. I've been doing a series on them, and this phase hasn't ended yet because I was sitting down in my bed the other night and I sent Roland a message saying, guess who's going to feature on my podcast? I was afraid he was going to say no, but fortunately he said yes. So
I've never said no to you.
You have never said no to actually yes. So this is what we're here to talk about. My friendship with Roland goes back over nearly 5 decades. Nearly.
Yeah.
Roland is just someone I've known pretty much my entire existence, I think, all the way back to our childhood in Nigeria. So this is a part where I hand over to Roland, first of all, for any kind of introduction. I don't know, I've introduced him and then I'm asking him to...
Sally's friend. I think we've known each other since 1990. No.
Did you go to USS?
No, actually. No, I didn't go to Star School. I went to UDSS.
Yes, so we've known since secondary school.
Secondary school, yes.
Yes. So
that'll be 87, 88.
For you, yes. For me,
sorry,
that was
me,
89, 90.
Yeah, you came in here 2 years later.
Yes. I'm a baby. Compared to you, yeah. Only right. I'll be a little bit behind you. So, because my ducks are not in a row, I usually would be a little bit more prepared for this. I'm not going to tell you about what happened last night. Let's leave that aside. I'm not going to tell you either because I still sometimes feel like I'll get a telling off. But this morning, let's just say that my head has been a little bit sore. So what I've done is I've put together some questions. So forgive me, I am going to go through these questions and this is the way we're going to run this podcast.
Well, I did suggest we go unscripted.
Yes, exactly. So first question, personal journey and friendship. Looking back, what's the funniest or most unexpected moment from our early days in the UK?
There's quite a few of them. We can talk about you asking for a job.
Yes.
That was interesting because it wasn't even a job interview.
It wasn't a job interview.
I need a job. I want to start. Now you will employ me.
And that's exactly what happened. Yes, our humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings,
yeah.
yes.
So we worked, what were you doing when I came in?
I think I was a manager
of some sort.
Hotel, wasn't it?
Motels,
yeah.
Manager of the entire hotel or the
food and beverage. Yes, food and beverage manager.
I think God had a way of always sending angels my way because I hadn't even been in the country for 2 weeks. Yeah, it was, and I got it, and God knows I needed that job, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So I needed to do grown-up things like pay rent, even though I was a baby. We were babies. Well, yeah.
Grown-up things like pay rent, but you want to talk about when you were actually working?
Let's
talk about that.
Yes.
So Sally decides to walk into my office one day and say, I don't feel like working today. But you're going to have to pay me though. I said, why? I'm tired. Nothing grown up about that.
Well, in my defense, I was just coming out of childhood and this adulthood thing was quite new. So responsibilities were, it took some getting used to,
It does get you.
Yeah, plus this country, I think, makes you grow up very quickly. For how young we were, we had to be resourceful and we had to think quickly, but we also had to be very, very hardworking. So
let's put some context to it.
Yes.
So back in Nigeria, at 25, you're at home.
Yes.
30,
still. Yes.
You're at home.
Yeah.
I think most of us got our first job in our 20s. Well, in this country, the kids they're working from 16.
Yes,
17.
exactly.
So it was a shock
Culture
to the system.
shock.
Culture shock for you. For you, that I'm like, whoa, what? And then you get your money and then they take the tax before you see it.
Yeah.
I remember you showed me your payslip once.
Yes.
And you went, what is this? How many hours? What's that deduction? I
I didn't get it.
That's your NI and that's your tax. It makes you grow up quicker.
Quicker, yeah.
You know,
We became independent quite
But
big.
that's the
Well,
advantage, isn't it?
yes. Well, also somebody like me, I had people like you to look up to. So you'd been here in the UK for a little bit longer than
before you
I
came,
had.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you'd had time to settle and or whatnot, you know, kind of, yeah. So sometimes it was blind leading the blind, but mostly you were
Yes,
wiser than
yes.
I was, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but sometimes we're learning together.
sometimes we're learning together.
Because if you think about it, right?
Went to uni together.
You got me to study law.
Yes, I did that. I motivated it.
You got me to study
I
law.
was an inspiration.
So here I was, working, happy, everything's fine. And one day we're having a conversation. She goes, are you ever going to finish your qualifications? Are you going to go to university? I'm like, God, I'm too old. And she went, what are you talking about? And you sent me a link. Remember the link you sent me?
To Oakland College.
Oakland
to get
College.
into.
And you said, here is a what did you call it?
Yeah,
Foundation.
diploma. Yeah, foundation course. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, yeah.
You're like, oh, you
God,
said
I
you
don't do that.
can't pass it, blah blah. So
I
what do you
can't
mean?
do
Of
it.
course you
I said,
can.
my brain is old.
No, well, I wasn't having it.
Yeah, and I did.
You
I
did.
did. It was down to you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So see,
I got my law degree because of her.
Got
That's
the
what
law
good friends
degree
are about.
because of me. We need inspiration.
Absolutely.
But we worked very, very, very hard. So we didn't have privileges that other people had. For example, we had to work through uni every
Full-time
second
work,
of uni.
full-time uni.
Full-time work and
That
full-time
was
uni.
tough.
Yeah.
Those were the tough times.
I worked at night.
I did the
I
same.
did. Yes.
Work
but,
nights.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and then uni in the morning. I had citizenship. At that time, there was a rule about longevity. So you were only entitled to certain benefits if you'd been in the country
Oh, that's
for
very true. Yeah, for a period.
X number of years. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. So while I was entitled to home fees, I was not entitled to benefits such as student loan.
Student loans you couldn't get.
Yeah, I could.
Neither
Yeah.
of us could get that. Yeah.
So we would have to have waited a couple of years, and we didn't have time for
We
that.
didn't have that time.
Next question. What do you think has been the key to maintaining our friendship despite life changes? So I'm going to start this one by saying it helps that I like Denisa. Denisa is his wife. She is beautiful. She likes me too. That helps.
That's important.
Yes. So we get on very well. I think that a lot of people in our past, because obviously we haven't just met people instantly and married them. I'm not saying bad things about Roland's past, but I've known of other people before.
Yes,
Denisa, yeah.
absolutely.
So
she knows about them too.
yeah, okay. So and that's fine. Everyone has a life, but I think every person that we've been with has been initially been intimidated by the friendship because people just don't understand it.
Oh, yes.
So when I'm like, but he's like my brother, they're like, but he's a man. Like, he's a man, but I don't think he sees me in that way. We've always kind of had almost a sibling relationship. I think you've just seen me in my most ordinary form. That is almost endearing, really. Like you've looked at me sometimes like a little project,
A little
a toy.
overprotective sometimes.
Yes. So once we went to a club and you got in a fight because some
Because of
guy.
you.
Well, that
Yes.
has happened on a number of
It
occasions
has,
actually.
but that's because you get into trouble.
You have to bail me
People are
out.
buying you drinks and you're so naive and you think that these drinks mean nothing. And then at the end of the night you want me to take you home and they're like, sorry.
Excuse me, I've invested all that.
night. I got nearly beaten up every single time.
Oops. Oh my goodness. But do you know, we've been through such life adventures. Unshakable, the brand, is unisex. But I think because of my womanness, I kind of have women gravitating towards me more than men. So I don't. It's not intentional. It's just.
If you say so.
It is just the way it is. But when I was thinking about who are the unshakable men that I know, it had to be Roland. You came to my mind almost so naturally, and I was like, Roland has never bought anything from my shop. So we're here to correct that
You know,
today.
I've always wanted to buy.
So there There you go.
I got my own unshakable kit.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what?
So-
I am going to wear it right now.
Yes,
I am
please.
going to wear it right now. Let's do this.
Let's do
Let's
this.
do this.
Let's do this.
Jacket off. And more importantly, unshakable jumper on. I've always seen your videos, and I see people when like, when am I going to get mine?
Yes.
Today is that day.
So, do you know, it's really interesting, especially because people always think it's a sports brand only, but it's not.
Oh,
You know,
that's good.
casual, nice and casual.
I like.
I like. Looks good. Look at you.
Look at me.
You
I'm all
look
branded
like
up.
you
Look
are.
at me now. Actually, let me take the hat off.
Yeah,
so
they won't be
can
able
my
to
face.
see you. Yes.
Well, there you go. That's the brand.
Yes, yeah. We get Roland in unshakable gear. Okay, so let's see. Next one. Oh, we didn't finish answering the question. What has been the key to maintaining our friendship
I
despite
think-
life changes?
I think it's remembering.
Remembering.
Memory. Because, you know, as you go through life and challenges hit you, you have to keep looking back sometimes. And you have to look back and see the journey and all the steps you've taken. Because if you don't look back, you don't know how far you've come. And every time I look back, I see you. Because you look at a career, you know,
I was
yes, I may be a managing director of a company in the UK. You think, oh my God, how did I get there? You look back and you think,
Oh, when I
the
started there.
degree,
Yeah, Sally.
who got me to finish that? It's Sally. So my Lord degree was you. I think we parted ways in our careers because you went and did your bar while I went and did an MBA. I went into business. So for me, it starts with you. So every time I think about you, sometimes you get some random calls from me.
Of course.
It could be like 6-7 months. Hey Sal. But the one thing we always try to remember is birthdays.
Yes.
There's always a message.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Sal.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
And that for me has been, it's always important to remember special days.
Yeah, and you're always quite touched by the fact that I don't rely on Facebook
Yes.
to remind me of your birthday. So
Yes,
even
it
be
always shocks
before
me. Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah.
and you always
It
used to be
shocks
like,
me.
how do you always
How
remember?
do you know?
Yeah, his birthday is 24th April, by the way.
Yeah, presents.
Tell, yeah. So always, I don't know why. It just is stuck in my head. I think because he's important or something. I don't know.
But it's our spirit as well, because you know, friendships is connected to spirit.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we go through life and we connect with our authentic selves. We have to. I mean, your whole life is it's about connecting with your strength, your resilience. I mean, I could tell you stuff. Write a book about you.
Aww.
I think if the spirits connect, friendships are easy.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
hard. And it's
So
hard.
we're a tribe.
And it's
Same
hard.
tribe.
Yeah, we're same tribe. And
Yeah.
it's hard to forget.
Our spirits speak the same language.
That friendship can end. It builds on itself, even though we don't talk every day or catch up every day. Whenever we talk, it feels like we've been talking every day.
It does.
You know,
Yeah.
and the spirit is important. That connection.
It is. Absolutely. And, there's, some friendships that just have like a special place. They just sit on a
Yeah,
pedestal
they do. Yeah.
and they're just there and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think I've gone without speaking to you for a year.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
But the reconnection is always epic and natural.
Weren't you surprised when I was telling you about every single thing you posted?
Yes! He's a stalker, actually.
I'm always checking up on Sally.
Yes, he's always looking
All
for
her
me.
marathons, I might send a message. Who is chasing you?
Why
keep
are you running?
What are you running from?
I'm running from energy prices and mortgage payments. That's what I'm running from. So I still haven't really settled into the whole adulthood responsibility thing. Two younger kids are the same age.
Yes.
So we got them together. We're in each other's lives. Yeah, you have to send me a photo of them.
I will send you a photo
Jessica.
when they were tiny.
Yes,
You remember those photos that we took at your house? Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, and looking back, it's just awesome. We've just been really connected.
And also, in deep emotional moments,
Yes,
me and Sally, we've shared a lot.
we have problems.
Those moments when you're so low and, even matters of the heart.
Yes.
Before I was married, there was plenty.
Yes,
Sally.
He's settled now. Life is boring because he has no more love drama.
I used to give her so much love drama. You know,
Yes.
Sally, this girl, come on. And she goes, really?
Yeah. And it was very interesting because he didn't have a type. Everyone was so different. Like, doesn't even look anything like the last one. Or like, so where do you get your inspiration
Because it wasn't about looks for me.
I know, but they weren't even the same. Like, they were all very, very different. Their personalities.
True.
Anyway, that's a different story. That's a different podcast episode. How did you feel when I first migrated to the UK, and what motivated you to help me the way you did? So let me start this off by saying that Roland is naturally a kind person. So he has a good heart. Yeah, he has a good heart. A bit of a softie. You know, people did take advantage of him because of his, softness. And there's a lot to say about Roland and empathy. So both of us are the same. So
That's true.
I am awful. So my empathy is such that I see someone inside a gutter and I get a rope to try and pull them out. And instead of staying there, I'm like going so deep, I end up falling into the gutter and then we're both stuck. So Roland is similar. Yeah. What do you think?
I think, besides the fact that we've known each other for a long time, I think for me, and
common background.
there's a whole number of people that I've just gone ahead and helped, because I understood the journey, how difficult it was to
settle. And some settling.
It's not easy.
Some are harder than others.
Yes, absolutely, and all the challenges, and at the time, the race was a thing.
Yes,
that was a thing.
It was.
It was loud and clear in certain places, and it was just
it was
the
hard
fact
to
that I was
move.
ahead. I was here. I had to help. I felt I needed to guide people through those pitfalls.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
I fell into a lot of them. So for me, it was important. But again, I think the relationship was already there. So you, Malika, Tracy, Jay, all of you it's like family. So the fact that you came and what happened afterwards, because this is how it is. So I helped Sally settle, and then 3 or 4 years later, my younger brother turns up.
Yes.
And he needed a job. And guess who gave me a job? She did. And I wasn't in a opportunity to give me a job then because I was still doing my MBA, I was studying, and she just placed him.
I did actually.
So you also have a soft heart.
Oh, I do. But how could I not? How could I not? For somebody who did so much for me, like it was a no-brainer. Like you didn't even have to ask. It was just, it was a no-brainer. So those were our early days in the UK as migrants. It wasn't easy, but we had the humble beginnings. But do you think it's arrogant to say that I think we are successful?
Yeah. I know the challenges that we both have gone through in our careers, all the glass ceilings, but I can say we broke through all of them. Yes. With lots of pain.
Absolutely.
But we certainly did.
Absolutely.
I would say we're trailblazers in what we did.
So we were definitely, I think at the time when we came, especially being so young, I was saying to Roland earlier on, before we started recording, that somebody got offended I don't know if they were offended or I don't know what it was. They sent me a message saying that they actually really don't like the way I refer to myself as a king. And Roland was like, they don't know the story. I said, I think because being a queen is too easy. Yeah. It's easy, it's common, it's normal. Yeah. I don't think there's anything normal about me,
I mean, I was saying to you that, the stereotype, when a mom brings up children by herself, the result is always the same. But I think you broke that stereotype. So when you say king, I get it.
Yes.
Because you have to be the daddy, the mommy,
I had to do everything.
Yeah.
And my favorite saying to the kids is when they were growing up, I always had this thing behind, and I still say it till today, by virtue of the fact that there isn't a man present in my household, the kids will still remain in line with this. Nothing broken, nothing incomplete. Yeah. Always. That has always been the most important thing to me. So, exactly. So, King Sally here. Excuse me, Sally. So, you can argue with your keyboards. I'm unapologetic about that one. So, What's one thing people misunderstand about long-term friendships like ours?
I think people look. Friendships are, as you grow older, you either do two things: you get closer to the people you knew when you were young, or you lose some.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like I always say friendship like it's like the NASA rocket going up. You know those two booster tanks that pushes the rocket up, and when it gets to a particular altitude, the tanks, the oxygen tanks fall off. That's friendship. The tanks, those booster tanks of friendship. As you
Yes.
climb, some people might not understand it, not get you anymore, and they fall off. But you keep going.
Yeah.
And I think friendship like ours are important because the ones that don't fall off get you.
Yes, yeah, they're the important ones. They're the
They're
ones
the
that are
important
meant to
ones.
stay.
They're the ones that are meant to stay, yes.
some people come into your life for a chapter, and then it's okay for that chapter to move on.
Yeah.
How do you get to the end of the book if you don't turn? You have to
Yeah.
swiftly move on. You know, keep moving. So, Roland features in every chapter of my life so far.
And I don't think people should understand it.
No,
You don't
it's
need
not
to-
for
It's
everyone.
not for everyone. Just don't try and understand it.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
Yes,
You
or
know.
don't.
Or
don't
don't.
accept it.
Or don't.
That's fine too.
That's also fine because actually we don't.
We don't care.
We don't need your acceptance.
Yeah, we're going to do what we're going
Exactly,
to do anyway. Yes, exactly.
So I think don't try and understand it. Just leave it.
Exactly. So
like,
then
like my son would say, allow it.
allow it. Yeah, Carrie doesn't say that.
Yeah, my son does.
Allow it. Okay,
I'm
that's
trying to
interesting.
get into the slang.
Gen
Yes,
Zs.
I said to my son, oh, this is bang. And he looked at me, he looked at me and said, don't ever say it again.
Daddy trying to be cool.
I'm trying.
Roland, but you've never been in the cool gang though.
No,
know,
not
unfortunately, yeah.
I'm
You've
more
always
laid- I'm
been
more
like
laid back.
a geeky type. Yeah, he's a bit of a geek, I think.
Am I?
No.
Yeah, okay, I'm a geek.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Okay, career and life transitions. What was the biggest challenge you faced when helping me settle into the UK?
I think it was trying to manage your expectations of the UK and the reality of it. I think UK me thinking things were easy. I come to the UK, everything's fine. So yeah, we have 24-hour light and power. Yes, that's one thing. That's great. But the reality of paying your own bills. I remember you looking shocked when I said you got to pay for a TV license, and you went, "What?" So
Ridiculous.
I paid to watch TV.
I still struggle. I actually still struggle.
It's those conversations that I think I struggle with. I think I had to help balance your expectations of the UK as well as managing the emotions that was coming out. I had to hold them.
It was hard, very, very hard. Still is. Adulthood is a scam.
I don't do this scam.
It
It's
is.
too late already.
I know, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I read somewhere that being an adult is like looking left and right before you cross the road and getting hit by an airplane. So things just come from
Where did
nowhere.
that come from?
So
But that's
yeah.
true. My daughter was saying to me, I think she was applying for volunteering work and she got rejected. And she was like, one application, just one.
Oh gosh.
And she went into a spiral. Why didn't they like me? Why? And I try not to laugh because this is serious. For her, this is deep. So I went, how do you know they don't like you? Yeah, because I applied and they said they're not going to give me a job. I said, okay, how many people applied? And she went, I don't know. I said, maybe it's 1 million people. And they only have one role. And she went,
Like winning the lottery sometimes.
yeah. And she went, I don't like life.
Oh dear. Yes.
So I described life to her, just like what you described. But my description was different. I said, life owes us nothing. Life is like a little bird flying around looking for who to poop on. And one day you get a big dollop on your head, it's your turn, deal with it. And she started and went, oh, okay. And it worked.
Yeah, there you go. I love that analogy. I'm going to have to use it. See, I'm going to create a quote out of this one because, wow, it's very profound in its weirdness.
And you just can't plan for life. I mean, who could have planned for COVID? That we're going to be, if somebody had said to you in a bar and said, hey, Sam, look, next month, we are all going to be asked to stay at home for a year.
Yeah.
And the only time you can go outside if you're going for exercise or shopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would say they are drunk.
Yeah, and that they
But
would
it
run, and I would run out of toilet roll.
Yes, and toilet will be a high commodity that will be rationed.
Will be
That
high.
Sainsbury's will ration. You can only buy 2 toilet rolls.
I know. This is crazy stuff. And
Yeah,
at
so,
one point it was eggs.
Eggs,
Just different random things.
sanitizers was like gold.
It was, yes, I know. Weird time. So we will forever remain in the era of COVID. The people, humans who experience COVID, because it's going to go in history books,
But what did COVID teach us actually? COVID taught us that there are 2 types of people. People who are fluid, so they embrace whatever comes. If it's pain, they lean into it. If it's joy, they enjoy it. And the other group of people are those who plan for everything. Plan A, plan B. If I go over here and that doesn't happen, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. That's never me.
Plan for COVID. We had waiting lists for people looking for psychotherapists during COVID because those are the people who like to control everything.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was fine with it, apart from the fact that we lost a couple of friends. We lost Olume.
We did.
Olume,
I
right?
remember calling you and telling you.
Yes.
That was really him and his brother.
Yes. So we had a friend who died, and then his brother had died 7 days later. Or was it?
A week later.
A week,
yeah.
something like that. That was tough. That was scary.
I remember your post. Guys, man down.
Man down.
I remember your man down post.
Yes.
That was quite powerful when you posted that. Man down.
Yeah.
Because as UDS's alumni, we're kind of like one family.
We are. Yeah. I talked about this in the previous podcast. I don't know if you caught. I need to send you that episode. Did you see it?
I did.
Did you?
I watched some of it, yeah.
Okay,
I did.
yeah. So with some of my classmates from secondary school, yeah. So yes, we are like a community in the UK. So even, and Roland and I, of course, we're not the same sets. How do you think our different backgrounds have shaped our career paths and opportunities? Interesting.
Backgrounds that shaped our opportunities.
I think many things put together.
That did that.
Well, resilience is in the background because we came from Nigeria, so we're used to struggling.
That is very true.
So nothing is easy in Nigeria,
nothing's easy.
right?
You fight for everything.
You have to fight for it. So I think one of the first shocks, and I was saying to my friend Dawn earlier, I was reading through these questions actually, and we had a QA session. Sadly, she's refused to be on the podcast. I might be able to convince her one day to change her mind because she's a very interesting person. I told.
Yeah.
Well, you saw we had a conversation. So she's a witch, like a proper, true, like witch.
She's going to be watching this. I thought to watch this.
Yes, she is. And in Nigeria, that's never ever a good thing. So Dawn is my masseuse, and I remember going in and I'm like, oh, that lady is such a witch. And she's like, that is an insult to witches. You can't say things like that, Sally. Witches are good people. I'm a witch. And I was like, this is so interesting. So in learning new things, we unlearn some ignorant parts of us as well.
Yes.
But we come here and we see law and order. Literally, this country is so organized. I remember thinking, these people are mad. They are obsessed with queues. Everything. With queue. But this is a UK thing, though.
I remember coming for the first time and saw a queue. And all I could think about was,
what are they doing?
Who can I
How can I bypass
somebody
this?
to bypass this
Yes.
queue? And which is the typical Nigerian way of thinking. But here you just got a queue.
Honestly, even driving, the queues, people, everyone's on one lane, and there's a pile up, and you're like, there's this lane and this lane, and then it's crazy. And actually, Roland is an insane driver. I hope he has changed his ways, because my near-death experience in cars have always been when Roland was driving.
Well, the key word there is...
We didn't die.
Near. It means I'm a safe driver, right? Near death.
Okay, all right. Have you changed?
Well, change is relative.
Does it depend on which car you're driving and how excited you are about?
It depends on the car. You're right.
Have you ever felt regret about any decisions we made together, whether work or education related? I'll leave this one to you.
Well, yes.
Oh, pray tell.
So the thing you said earlier, teaching you bad things, I do regret that.
Okay, well.
So let me what we explained before. So
okay. And this is in the past. Please don't call the police
This is
after this, yeah?
15, 20 years ago. So Sally needed to register.
It was more than 20 years ago. It's not 15,
30.
20 years ago, actually.
How long has it been?
This was maybe around 2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
23 years ago. She needed to register for
My course,
her
yeah.
course.
I didn't.
She came to me and she went, I can't register. I have no
In
money.
tears, literally.
In tears.
And this was the deadline day for registration,
Yes,
after which there would have been no registration.
No more. She had to wait another 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but I might just say I regret it. I was thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
So I said,
I don't think you regret it. I think you're just saying that for the camera.
Well,
Yeah. Carrie is listening to this, by the way, my son.
I said to Sally, have you got your checkbook? She said yes. So I had a check for the fees. And she went, what do you mean? I said, well...
Carrie might not even know what a checkbook is right now.
If you send the check in with the application, you get your place. And then later when they cash it and there's no money, they can then call you and go, hey, did my thing go through? And then you can go, okay.
And then you can sort it out. Yeah,
She didn't believe me, but that's exactly what happened.
That's what I did. So nobody asked any question. They said, have you got the money? And I said, yes. Here's my check. And they took it. And I registered. So who knows? If that didn't happen...
Where would you be today? Sliding doors, huh? Turn left or turn right?
My mom actually had to come into the country because she was so concerned about my obsession with working. And I was explaining to her that, listen, mother, in this country, you have to work and pay bills, right? So I know I have to go to uni, but I need a place to live, first of all.
Yeah.
And, we need to eat. So anyway, she came in to kind of like as a support work. She had a sense of what it could easily have turned into. So I could have got lost in the whole chasing a career thing and not bothered with uni, right? Like Roland has said and almost did. Actually, I had to talk him out.
I was so busy working, thinking it's not possible. When am I going to have time to pay all these bills and work and go to school? And she went, there is.
Yeah. So that was the one regret. On my end, no regrets. We worked hard, we played hard. We did a hell of a lot of clubbing, a hell of a lot of drinking. Yeah. Roland saved me, not only in the clubs, even at work, because it was a male-dominated environment.
Spiros. I remember Spiros, the Greek doorman. Roland, that's Sally. She's single.
Yes.
I went, no.
No.
The reason why I'm going this is because the guy was up there.
Yes, he was a big guy.
Huge guy.
Yes.
And you had a lip on you, and you didn't fear him.
I didn't. Yeah. Because he was a gentle giant, but he was also very, very persistent.
Oh yes, never gave up.
Oh gosh, yeah. So this guy was just intent on. He used to say to me, "You are going to have my babies."
Yes,
like,
you have
what?
my Greek children.
Yes. No, I wasn't. I did no such thing. So and Roland was like, "How do you always find yourself in this? Can you just stay out of trouble? Can't you just?" I'm like, "God, help it." I don't know why these things happen. I really don't.
I just remember that right now.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Spiros. Yeah. What are some key survival tips for immigrants navigating a new environment?
Oof. I think be realistic. That's what I can say. Be realistic. If you come into this country to build a life or to qualify or to get a degree, you just focus on that. And I think the distraction of, oh, Sally, please send me money. I need this, I need that, I need this. If you get carried away with that, you will not achieve anything.
Yeah.
So
people back home,
people back home.
Because they just assume Nigerians, I don't know if it is for other less developed countries, but Nigerians tend to assume that as soon as you walk out of Heathrow, you just walk around.
You're handed a big bag of money.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes, easily. Yeah, there you go. But you have to work for every penny. I remember back then, Roland, you remember this as well because it was quite an emotional thing where I bought my brother his very first PlayStation. I sent it back home to him and how happy he was because they're privileged people and there are some who are not so privileged, and I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, you know, so my upbringing was very modest, you know. So it's very easy for them to have been like, oh gosh, you know, Sally sent a PlayStation, like she's in the UK now.
Therefore she has.
I was washing pots and pans, and you know, every little bit from my waitressing tips.
Yeah.
Yes, I used to depend on those tips. So actually, this is why I always, as much as possible, try and tip. So if I don't tip you, the service must be really shockingly appalling. Yeah. You know, there were days. So first of all, there were a couple of days where I had to borrow money from Roland. I don't think I ever paid back any of those.
I'm glad you went borrow.
Also, there were times when, you know, I'd be working the evening shift in a restaurant, and I, you know, you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, these people look rich. Please give me a good tip because I literally have no means of getting home. It's a very long way to walk. So please, you know. What are some cultural shocks we faced and how did we deal with them? Can you think of any?
I think it's the age thing. The age at which the children or young people here go to work. That was a shock to my system. 15-year-old at work, I'm like, huh? At 16, I was 18. I remember my uncles used to stay with us back home in Nigeria, 24, 25. They're still in the house. But at 16, you're working, 17, someone got apartments and living by themselves. That was a culture shock for me. I think that was the biggest one. That at such a young age. And I sort of think, I reflect and I go, so what happens to young people in Nigeria then? Does that mean we're behind? And I sometimes reflect and go, well, we have more resilience.
Yeah, so we're just different. It's a different culture.
They start working earlier before us. We go into the work environment late, and yet we're more resilient.
Stronger, yeah. I think it's because of the hardships, some of the hardships and the struggles in Nigeria. So everything is organized, and you know, you do certain things, you will go to prison. You know, you will. You're not going to get away with it. In Nigeria, you have to fight for everything. You have to fight for survival, whether you're working or you're not working. Yeah. It was a struggle. Even at uni, you have to fight to staying out of cults, for example. Most people ended up in secret cults. These cults in Nigeria were pretty dangerous. We've had friends die. I remember going to on my way to lectures and seeing my friend dead on the floor. You know, those kind of things. We walk around Nigerians, and I think a bunch of us need therapy. We just don't know. We experienced a lot of trauma. We're talking about it lightly right now, but geez.
We are, but there's lots of trauma.
Yes.
And I think as much as we enter the workforce late, at home we worked. I just realized that while you were talking just then. We got up early. We did the washing. I ironed my dad's shirt, and it has to be crisp and the lines, and you got to be up early to have the car washed. I washed the car every day and polished the car every morning before you went to work. Maybe that's what it is, because here, no chores. They don't do
that. No
chores. I said to my son, when I was your age, I was washing the car every day. And my son just looked at me like...
The olden days.
He says, why would I wash your car? It's cold outside.
I know,
we should be in Nigeria.
We should make them walk to school.
I agree.
Okay. What's one Nigerian tradition we should never let go of, no matter where we are?
Well, I think that every Nigerian must give their child a Nigerian middle name. At least it could be in a middle name. You know, so my daughter's name is Jessica, but she has a Yoruba name as well. My son the same. He has his Yoruba name.
What are their Yoruba names?
So my daughter's Yoruba name is Ogenemine.
Oh wow!
And my son is Ogenefejiro. You have to do that, because I think if you I think it's,
You have to hold on to
you gotta hold on
something.
something. And I always say
Identity is important. Identity is important.
My daughter, I don't care who you get married to. And there will be a traditional marriage.
Yes. Traditional Nigerian marriage.
Yes, where you're going to be dressed in the traditional attire. So let whoever know. And that's why I would interview all our boyfriends myself. Right?
Oh dear.
Just to make sure. You can't do all those things.
Of course.
Credit checks, all that.
Absolutely.
Before they date.
Absolutely. Yeah. So actually, when my daughter talks about a boy, I always say, "What's his last name?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not sure." I was like, "Can you find out?" Because I want to know. Because we will check.
Absolutely, we will check.
We don't trust people. We're not.
You tell her. I'll check for you.
We're Nigerian. We're not very trusting.
No, we don't trust nobody.
It's not
particularly the journey that you've been on. I think if you we've gone through school of hard knocks.
Yes.
And you wouldn't want your child to go through that same journey.
No.
So we try to protect them from all of that, and that's why we do what we do. I always say to my daughter, I'm trying to save you because life's tough.
Life is tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And if you make the wrong decision,
you pay for it dearly. What do you think our work ethic compares to those born and raised in the UK?
Now, this is a very controversial one. And it's controversial because previously, if I were to go back 15 years, I would say our work ethic is higher. But I get a sense that things are changing. Because I've had some Nigerians work for me. And I sometimes go, are these my people? Because there are some lazy Nigerians.
Of course.
So in the past it was constant. You employ a Nigerian, they work their ass off for you. I worked my ass off as well.
I did as well. Yeah, and every penny. Yeah. This is why I was so upset by tax. But I couldn't understand it.
It's different now. I think it's different now. So it's hard to compare the work. I think it's.
Do you think it's more of an individual thing as opposed to
a culture?
Yes. Because some Nigerians are very, very hardworking and they have what it takes and they will do whatever it takes to make sure that they get to the top. They're driven and, I think we were quite...
We were the same.
Ambitious.
But we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. Yeah.
We didn't have mom and dad. We just
Nobody was going to do it for us. But then some people are like that, but they're satisfied with mediocre. I don't think we ever settled for average. There was never anything average. Even when we were doing like the dingiest jobs, we were the best at that even.
Yes.
Do you know what?
Yes.
Somebody said to me the other day, because, I run an Airbnb, right? And it's very interesting because one day some guy, he phoned me up and he was like, I saw the cleaner earlier and I said, there weren't 2 towels in the room. And I was like, I will have a word with her. And I went. And I stood in front of the mirror. I said, you naughty cleaner, because I'm the cleaner. I think my experience it's very interesting when I'm doing the beds, and I'll have to show you in a minute, but I roll up the towels based on what I remember from doing
days. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping, because I was a chambermaid.
Yes.
So as a chambermaid, I was the best chambermaid that ever existed in the UK.
And I always say, but that's why you build a successful career. Because even when I started my first job in the country, washing dishes in the kitchen, I can promise you I was the best pot wash ever.
Exactly.
Even some of my colleagues in the kitchen would go,
you don't have to keep shining that thing
why
to
are you making
your
us
face.
look bad?
You're not being so good.
Can you just take it easy and slow down?
Exactly. So there was that. In terms of, it's not so much culture per se, but one of the things that surprised me the most was how cheap chocolate was. It's so easy to put on weight in this country.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to lose it. In Nigeria, you don't go around finding Mars bars. Here, they're everywhere. Sometimes even cheaper than healthy food. It's easier.
Junk food is cheaper.
Yeah. So that was this. I think for the first couple of weeks after I got paid, I remember I ate a bar of chocolate every day, unfailingly.
What about easy? How easy to take fast food?
Oh gosh,
we didn't cook.
Yeah, no. Yep.
We didn't cook. I don't know how we didn't blow up.
I don't know. Well, I did.
Okay, we worked
don't know about you.
We worked a lot.
Yeah, we worked a lot, but also we were addicted to gym activities of some sort. So
we still are.
Yes. Obsessive runner here. Yeah.
Obsessive, everything.
I'm obsessive. Strength training and all whatnot.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. So, where do you see us in 10 years, both personally and professionally? So.
Well, I see you being the top of whatever it is you choose to do. I'm almost certain that it doesn't matter whether Sally changes career or wants to try hands at anything. I think you always be top of it because you're not satisfied. You don't sit back. You don't sit back and go, okay, this is enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's part of the connection we have because
yes, you're the same.
I'm the same.
You're the same.
I don't sit still.
I go through life. There's this movie that came up. I'm obsessed with a song from it. It's from The Greatest Showman. Never Enough. Do you know that song? Never Enough. Yeah. Is it? No. So that song, the first time I heard that song, I sat down and I listened to the lyrics and I just started crying. It was very interesting. First of all, the woman's voice is gorgeous, so that would make anyone cry. Just the emotion of it. I wasn't sad or happy.
It's the message.
Yes, it just resonated with me so much because, and then I think shortly after that, I lost a friend and I was thinking it's okay because nothing you do in this life is ever going to be enough and it doesn't matter. Let's go out and do it all anyway. You know, we're all,
The way I see it is we have a limited time where we can do whatever we want. And then you get to a point where, okay, I want to keep pushing, but I can't. Physically, mentally, we're gonna age. Yes, we're physically fit, we train. Age will catch up at some point. And while you have the strength and the ability and the capacity, then do it. Because at one point it's going to be impossible. You're going to have to sit back and go, okay, Sally, I know you want, no. So my motto is I sleep when I'm dead.
You sleep when you're dead. Yeah, oh gosh, that is profound. But gosh, comes Roland again.
It's true though.
That is a very deep and very...
it's true.
But very true.
Because I think
it is true.
Otherwise you waste life. You waste life. I mean, we only have one. We can't have a do-over.
We think it's long, but it's not. It's very short.
It's quick.
Yeah. See how quick the time also goes. We're talking about 30 years ago now, where we're washing pots and pans and...
In the next 30, what we're going to be talking about, that's a better question.
I know. So first of all, I'm hoping that I will get enough subscribers and viewers and merch buyers. So Unshakable is about to go into the next phase, actually, which is a whole brand new shop.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we are changing everything and we're switching it all up again.
Good.
So, in 10 years, maybe there'll be this big building with Unshakable written on it and it'll have all the various things that I do. It'll have the shop with the merch and, maybe something about inspiration. Who knows? Yeah.
But you know what though? The name Unshakable, people hear that word Unshakable and they go, what is that? But it's only people that understand it. So for me, and we all,
Unshakable.
It connects to different people in different ways for different reasons. So the first time I saw your brand, I was like, oh gosh. So for me, I thought about life, struggle, knocks, poops.
Yeah, bright poops.
And the resilience to, it's not how hard you fall, it's how hard you get up, how quickly you get up.
How quickly you get up.
So,
and how many times?
And how many times you keep getting knocked down and you keep standing up. That's what this is.
Yeah.
So this is really important, that people understand that. I think if it's a perfect name, and I know it's your personal story. That's why it works.
It's my baby.
Yeah, it is your baby. And
it
makes sense.
Yes, I'm glad.
And I connect to it.
Of course you connect to it. This is why you're here speaking on the podcast. Yes. Okay, this one says, if you could relive one moment from our friendship, what would it be?
I think it would be one of our club evenings. So I'm sure you remember this. We went out.
To where?
We were at the hotel, at the bar. And then we had a few drinks and we sat down in the lounge. Came to the restaurant, there was nobody there. It was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in the hotel, and this lounge, you were sitting on the lounge, and you looked across and you went, wouldn't it just be nice not to worry about anything? And I remember it vividly because I thought, when you said it, I just went, because I felt it. And I went, gosh. Well, now I can sit down and go, it was probably the alcohol. But actually, it meant something.
It did, yes.
And that for that split second, all the worries disappeared. All the bills and, tomorrow I got to open up the bar and do this. And I didn't think about anything. It was the most peaceful moment. And I remember it sometimes. I go,
It was very nice to have like a brother somewhere. It's also nice that you lived not too far away from the house. So it was walking. So sometimes I'd have a double shift, and in between shifts, I would come and I would fall asleep. In your flat.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So those were very nice, peaceful times actually. And we thought life was hard. We didn't know anything. This one says, funny and relatable moments. What's the funniest misunderstanding we've ever had? I don't think we've ever had a misunderstanding, have we?
No, we haven't.
No. It's on the to-do list.
No, not on the to-do list.
We're too old for that now.
I think we had a thing.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. The thing. Me knowing something didn't tell you, and you go,
oh, yeah.
But that's another podcast.
It does. Yeah, that was very dodgy.
Yeah.
That wasn't nice. But it wasn't your fault.
But you forgive me.
I did.
Yeah. You understood why I couldn't tell you.
I understood.
Yes.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Not at that. Not at
that moment.
Yeah. Okay. So, this one is interesting. Describe me in 3 words, and I'll do the same for you.
3 words. I would say gifted, resilient, and I would say innovator.
Innovator. I don't think I've heard that one. Gosh, how flattering.
It's not flattering, it's what you are.
Gosh.
I don't flatter, you know that.
Yeah, well, yes. Okay, well, thank you. So, in return, I will say 3 words. Roland. Roland is strong. That's mentally and physically, by the way. Yeah, have you seen the size of his biceps? I mean that literally. You are able to take on quite a lot, and deal with it. And with a straight face. This is why his humor is so weird. Roland says his jokes with a straight face. So if you don't know him, you sometimes can be a bit confused about, you have to think about it for a second, and then, then he cracks a little smile and you're like, oh yeah, it was a joke. But the jokes are sometimes, very profound, but very, very, that's, I think, goes hand in hand with your character actually, and the things that you've been through. So yeah, strong, dependable. So dependable, loyal, those 2 things kind of go hand in hand. And I say that because if I ever thought about, gosh, I need X, Y, Z to be done, or I need this presence, in my, who can I turn to? Is always Roland. So Roland will have the answer, or know somebody who would have the answer. Always something like that. Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah. This one is, what's one Nigerian stereotype we completely live up to? Nigerian stereotype. So, yeah. So Nigerians are everywhere in the world. Apparently, we just occupy a lot of space, generally.
We do.
So, and we're in every industry. So, and we always have to be on top.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the stereotype, actually.
Yeah.
And we live up to it.
We live up to it, yeah. So we do hard things.
Yeah.
Successful.
Yes. And we develop ourselves. Always.
Yes.
We're
you
always,
mean education, right?
It's education, knowledge. We just keep seeking to know.
Yes, yeah. We're very hungry people.
Hungry for knowledge.
Yeah, we have to know. We're very curious as well.
Very curious.
So, yeah, I think if we ever occupy the different planets, it will be Nigerians who might agree to move there. We're off to Mars.
Yes.
Especially if there's some kind of benefit. So for the first immigrants to Mars, you get X package financial compensation for your, I think there'd be Nigerians, if not all Nigerians, there'd be quite a few Nigerians there.
And there'll definitely be an African restaurant on Mars.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. So because you find them everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
And it's very interesting because Nigerians always seek these things out. When I travel to any country,
I look for it. Yeah,
I look
Greece.
for.
I've been everywhere. Turkey,
and you find them.
Dubai. They're
everywhere.
Yeah.
I think the other stereotype about which is true is our obsession with education. So our parents were, and I think we've carried that on, were obsessed with, for example, for everything you did in life, even if your main ambition was to be a janitor, you must get a university degree.
Yes.
It was non-negotiable. And I think I've passed that on. So, when it comes to sit down there, my Amy is, of course, second year uni, studying law. And, I just sit down and I'm so concerned about Carrie saying to me that he doesn't know what he wants to do at uni. I'm like, what do you mean? I think I was born ready for this stuff because my parents were never going to accept any kind of,
Yeah, impossible.
So, and we all had to be lawyers, engineers, doctors, or,
It's interesting that our children would study law.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a stereotype that actually is true.
It is true.
Yeah, it is true. Okay, advice and inspiration. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received and who gave it to you? Ooh, this one's going to have to take some thinking, actually. For me, best piece of advice, because I've received so many.
I think I had a friend, guy's name was Paul Proctor, I remember him. And he was
Paul.
He was the boss at Motorhouse.
Yes.
And we lived together in Derby when we moved to Mikulova Court Hotel when we started working in Derbyshire. And he used to say to me, every job you do, don't just do it, improve it. And I'm taking that with me.
Yeah.
He always, his thinking was outside the box. If he goes for interviews, he already knows about the company and what he can add to it before he goes for the interviews. And I always be taking that with me everywhere. And I think that is probably one that I carry with me everywhere.
I've had so many pieces of advice, but I think that one that comes to my mind instantly is this lady I used to work for called Genevieve. And Genevieve said to me one day, the shy monkey gets no nuts. So, so she was saying, Sally, if you want something, just ask. I think deep down inside, I've always been that way inclined anyway. Hence, I, boldly demanded a job off Roland, for example. I think I'm learning to be more intentional about this particular piece of advice. So if I want it, I will ask for it. This actually goes as far as prayer. So people pray general prayers, thank you God for waking me up today and blah, blah, blah. I'm very specific about this is exactly what I want, down to the, I don't know, whatever. So for example, if I want to buy a car, I ask for this car and I want the car and I want the car and I'd like literally speak it into existence, Yeah. So learning to be more intentional about, the ways I ask. And every time I find myself consciously requesting something from the universe or from God, however it is, these things manifest themselves, I go back to Genevieve's quotes, which is the shy monkey gets no nuts. So I'm not shy about it, and this is why I always have nuts. How do you stay motivated when things get tough?
I think there is a quote by Bruce Lee that I carry with me as well, and I think it says something. It goes like this.
Sorry, I'm writing this one down.
It says, open your mind, my friend. Be like water. When water is in a glass, it becomes a glass. When water is in a bottle, it becomes a bottle. When water is in a kettle, it becomes a kettle. Water flows, but water crashes also. Fluid. Be fluid. Be like water, my friend. And that quote is really important because I think when things are tough, you become what it is. You become the toughness. You become the issue. You embrace the issue. If it's pain, lean into it. always lean into it so you can understand it, so you can taste it. So the next time it happens again, you know how to respond. I think I always know that, I cannot change everything and everybody. So what I focus on is that which I can change, which is me, my responses, my patterns of responding, triggers, behaviors. If I can control that, then it's easy.
Anything.
Then it's easy to be motivated.
I think, mine is similar, but I'm constantly fighting. Don't know how to give up. I'm the biggest risk taker I know. I keep going. So my dreams are outrageous. For example, somebody, Dawn, earlier, she was saying to me, Sally, you're so ambitious. You're so, this, like for the brand. What's the next step for the brand? And I said, because I want to be up there, right up there, recognized with the big players. She said, like, who are you comparing yourself to? I was like, Nike. And she was like, whoa, Sally, but do you know what? This is all I ever know you to be. You dream of the most bizarre things, but guess what? They always come to pass. Yeah. And I was like, because I always fight my way to,
It's a good way to be. Absolutely.
And I might not always get to the, the very thing, but I will always, it will never be for lack of trying, but also I will always fight my way, like as, hard as possible.
But I like the fact that you said Nike, because you know what? If the dream is not big enough or scary enough, if it doesn't scare you, then it's not.
Okay.
You got to go bigger.
You've got to go bigger.
It has to scare you.
So they said, so for example, if I was going to ask someone for money, if I needed £100, for example, I would ask for 500. Reason being, 500 is unrealistic. And, the audacity of it, but you end up at £100 even, or you might even
it's
get...
impressive.
You get, yes, exactly.
I mean, if somebody asked for £1,000, that'd be impressive. I'd say impressive, I'll give it.
Yeah, there you go. So, there's the penultimate questions. We've got 2 left, and I think we're running out of time anyway. Well, you are.
Yep.
I can keep you here if you want me to all evening. So, if you had to give one piece of advice to the younger listeners, what would it be? So, something to say to our Gen Zs.
Okay, I'll give them what I give to my young children, right? So I always say, number 1, demand respect. And it's not you're not demanding respect of other people, you're demanding of yourself, right? So demand respect. Number 2, put yourself first. Put yourself first is not selfish, because at the end of the day, if you are not okay, then nobody around you is going to be okay, right? 3, remember, you cannot control everyone and everything, so focus on what you can control, which is you. 4, take every opportunity to express anger. Now people will say anger, well, what you guys think anger means is actually rage. Anger is just expressing how you feel. If somebody upset you, say it. Don't keep it inside.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way your body keeps you safe.
It's healthy.
It's very healthy. 5, vulnerability is not a weakness.
It's a strength.
Accept it is a strength. So I would give them that advice.
Yeah.
And I would say embrace your passions. Go for what your spirit connects to. Do what you enjoy doing. Get a career that actually you love. Get a job you love. Please don't get a job because it pays the money, because you'll be out of there very quickly.
There's a saying, do a job you love so that you spend the rest of your life not working.
Correct.
So you don't feel like you're working when you're doing something you love. This is what I'm trying to do, Roland, by the way. This is me trying to do what I love so that I never have to work another day, Yeah.
I love that.
So that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say Rome was not built in a day, but it was built, right? You have to start from somewhere and do something. So use what you have and do what you can. And then the final one, which is our wrap up. What's a personal motto that keeps you going through difficult times?
Well, for me, just one motto. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life.
Yeah, I love that one. Yes.
That's it.
And we have to be able to accept that ourselves.
Absolutely.
And allow people to receive it however it is they receive it.
Do what they want, whatever they like with it.
Exactly. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Whatever. So, of course, I have to go with my own motto, which is how I'm going to end this podcast. But before I do that, I would just like to say thank you with Roland.
Thank you for having me.
You are an amazing friend. You are the very definition of what true friendship should be. So, and thank you for that. You've always been by my side. So, yeah, here's to many more moments, many more milestones, many more birthday celebrations. I've been at every milestone birthday. Roland likes to throw a party every decade. So, yeah.
See you at 60.
Yes. Yes, exactly. We've done 50.
We've done 40, we've done 50.
Yeah. And your 50th was actually very, very good because it was the week after my marathon.
Your marathon.
So it was an amazing way for me to celebrate. So it was the first champagne that I had that year. This year, yeah. So because I fought in training for the marathon.
Oh, coffee to be clean, yes.
Yeah, I had to be clean for my training and all that. So yeah, that was perfect. So yeah, on that note, I will finish with the unshakable motto. You know this by now. Unshakable is a state of mind. Take your state of mind with you everywhere you go. Be unshakable. Be in truth with yourself. Love yourself. Thank you. Bye. Yay!
Done.